Blast me to the mortal realms! It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer Issue 6 by Hachette Partworks and Games Workshop. Hello everyone and welcome back to another Stormbringer video. So today we are starting my latest delivery, which arrived yesterday, or should I say Thursday, because this will probably be going up on Saturday. But I had my latest delivery and now I'm starting to film all the issues, and I will pop them up one a week until my next delivery arrives. So, plenty of Stormbringer content to come. Yes, we'll be running a little behind what is out officially in the shops, but that's because I am collecting this through a subscription, and so we get our delivery just before the last issue is available in the shops. So in this case, the last issue in this delivery is 10, and 10 is out next week, so our delivery has turned up, or my delivery has turned up. Other people's, not too sure, but I think a lot of people will be getting theirs within the next couple of days at least. But before we get into anything, don't forget to, of course, like this video if you are enjoying the content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to tickle that little bell icon. He really likes it, he does. And because that's the only way you can keep up to date with all my mad content. And of course, don't forget, there's all my links down below. And why not drop a comment down below? It helps the channel out, and I love hearing back from everybody. So let's dive into issue 7 today. And it is our paint issue. So we get 2 paints, Corax White and Catagen Flesh. We also get a range ruler, and we learn a little bit more about moving and adding these new paints to our models. So let's go vertical and we'll take a look inside. Okay, here we have issue 7. Just tear it open. So here are our 2 paints. Corax White, very good. White is sort of an off-white, so you can easily dry brush or layer up with other whites. And we got Catagen Flesh. Don't actually own this paint, but it looks a pretty good brown. It's sort of a midway point between Dryad Bark and Rhinox Hide. There we go. Sort of a midway between Rhinox Hide and Dryad Bark. So nice light brown, perfect for flesh and leathers, which I believe is what the magazine will be using it for. So yeah, 2 rather nice paints. We also get a rather bog standard 12-inch plastic range ruler with the Warhammer icon there on each of the inch marks. And here we have our magazine. So full contents, realm spheres, painting our additional details to our Crawl Boys and Stormcast, learning about measurements, and we have a brand new playthrough, of course. So the realm spheres. Each of the mortal realms is contained within a realm sphere, which is an orb of elemental magic. At their edge, the magic of these realm spheres is wild and unpredictable, while in the centre, the magic has stabilised to form landscapes where mortals may dwell. So this expands a little bit more on what we've had for the mortal realms lately. It goes into detail about how each of the types of magic affects the realm itself. So we have all 8 realms here. We have Ulgul, the realm of shadows, where it's a never-ending maze, misty swamps, dark forests, etc. Home to Malarion, the god of shadows, who was originally in the old world Malekith, and he's now basically in hiding, slowly amassing his forces of shadow elves. We've seen a few in the Underworld Warband and Warcry games. Next up we got Heish, or Heish. I think it's Heish, the Realm of Light. So this is the place of order where the Lumineth Realm Lords are primarily in command, alongside Teclis, the god of the elven races. Split into 10 different islands, each one of which is a paradise. Of course, we have Azir, the realm of heavens, where Sigmar and his Stormcasts are located. Gairan, the realm of life, where Alarielle and her Sylvaneth dwell, alongside other giant creatures, colossal plants dominate the landscape, etc., growing wild. Shaiish, the realm of death, where, of course, Mr. Grim and Ugly himself, Nagash, resides. Was once a beautiful mortal kingdom. It now spends most of its time assailed by spirits and skeletons. Not a very nice place to live. We have actually the realm of fire. Nice, really hot realm if you like your heat. Home mostly to the Fire Slayers and various other fire-based factions. We have Shimon, the realm of metal. So, favoured realm by Tzeentch, and also favoured by the Kharadron Overlords, as this is where they mainly get their business and realm mining the Ether Gold. And finally, of course, we have Gur, which is where all our battles are being set to. So we know what Gur's like. It's a rather dangerous realm where even the ground and mountains would eat you alive. So a little bit more information about the Arcane Frontier and the Chaos Tainted Wastes, which do appear in all the realms. We got a map of an up-close look at the different realms here. So we've got the Great Parch, Portal of the Lurid Blaze, the Tallow Gate, the Horns of the Solar Drake, Font's Ingress, Gate Crater Crematos, Portal of the Void, Brimfire Gate Archway. Then we've got the Realm Gate path there itself. So yeah, pretty good close-up look there at one of the realms. Bonus thing we have in this issue is what should have been with issue 1, which is a set of wound markers. So just cut these out. It might be a good idea to mount them on a bit of card. A bit of cereal box would be fine. But it helps you keep track of which models have took wounds in your games. Always handy. Moving on then, we got our paint guide for the issue, so we need our 2 new paints, and we might need Lead Belcher to touch up certain areas that we've missed or get paint over. So we're starting on the Oryx, and we're painting all the brown wood and the brown leather with the new Catachan Flesh paint. So we're even making sure we paint the details on the Uruk kill boss there. And his little stab grot as well, plus the hobgrots have their banner pole. And then we're using Corax White to pick out the details on the defeated Stormcast there. And then we have a completed gallery of what our orcs look like. I believe we are getting Mephiston Red soon, so we will be painting all our shields in a future issue. And we are getting Wraithbone, so that'll be used for all the bandages and stuff. Yeah, really good looking models so far. Now we've got a few extra colours on. For our Stormcasts, we're going to be removing the shield arms, which hopefully you haven't glued down. And then we're picking out all the details. What I've done is I've actually left the shield themselves separate, not the arm, the whole arm. So we're picking out the little clasps on the shields with Lead Belcher, and then the straps with Catachan Flesh. Picking out any belts and scabbards with Catachan Flesh. You'll want to do a couple of layers over gold, as you see here. There's various little latches for the armor plates and stuff, so just take your time picking them out. Even got the clasps around the scrolls on the Knight Arcanum there. And any models that have hair as well, we want to pick out with Cast and Flesh. Then we're moving on to Corax White to paint the insides of any robes, painting the white details on badges and shields, and even the shoulder plates there. And we're picking out the base detail on the Knight Arcanum, so getting the inside of a robe, and then painting Catch and Flesh on the dirt, and then the stone itself with Corax White. So just take your time going around the models, making sure you pick out all the little individual details that are on them. And then, of course, we have our completed gallery there. So yeah, you may or may not have done bare heads on some of your models, so it might be a good idea to use Catch and Flesh on that just to help break them up from future paint guides. Moving on, we have our tutorial for movement. So this basically shows us how a model moves, checking your ranges, etc. And we introduce move value to our war scrolls now as well. So you can practice games on the larger mat. So we can practice moving and checking our coherency. So models must be within 1 inch of another model in their unit to stay in coherency. Where can you move? Pretty much anywhere, but you can't move within, I think it's 1 or 3 inches for Age of Sigmar. So yeah, here we have the tutorial showing that the Stormcast can't move off the board. They can't move towards the Uruk, so they have to move straight upwards. And then we have the detailings on how to charge, which is another form of movement. So as long as you are within 12 inches of a unit, you may make a charge. You roll 2 dice, adding the total together, and that's your charge distance. If you charge multiple units, you must, of course, make enough distance to reach both. And as long as you end your charge within half an inch, you can validate that as a successful charge. So yeah, learn about ranged weapons, which continues from last issue. Also have melee weapons which have range, some of them do. The Stave, for instance, has a 2-inch range, so in range at 2 inches, not in range at 3 inches. And then we move on to our mission. So we got the Knight Arcanum already in battle with the Gut Rippers. We then place the Kill Boss and Stabgrot here, and the Vindictors down here. And we take it in turns to go through the turn. We learn about moving and charging, so we can use these circles, but you can also make sure you use your range ruler with it as well, just to double check your ranges, and gets you used to the new rules that we've learnt. Then we got our usual victories and our next issues. So issue 8 is our Lord Imperatant. We learn about undercoating. We get an awesome STC brush. So this is the actual first STC brush I've got, so I'm going to be looking forward to using that. And we get the Swamp Caller Shaman in issue 9. We learn a bit more about the Realm of Beasts, and we learn about magic. So the Swamp Caller Shaman and the Knight Arcanum will be doing some magical stuff. So there we have it. That was issue 7 of Stormbringer. And yeah, a rather nice little issue. Not a lot of lore, but I believe that is going to be changing in a few issues' time. But we've got some rather cool paints. Corax White I love to use. And I use it for near enough all my whites. It's a good white, goes over most colours. But as with all light colours, you will need a couple of layers over dark coats. Catch and Flesh, like I said, I don't actually own, but I won't have much use. I prefer using Dryad Bark for my leathers, or Rhinox Hide. But for my Space Marines and Battle Sisters, I'm using Morn Van Ground as the Imperial Magazine details. So these are going to go to my friend, who is buying half the subscription, pretty much. So yeah, all in all, pretty good. So yeah, there we have it. Thank you all for watching. If you think I deserve it, don't forget to give this video a like, and of course subscribe if you haven't, and check the links down below, including the Mad Merlins Patreon. So I will see you next time for another Imperium video, and also another Stormbringer video. So thank you again, and goodbye.